Hi, I'm Stephen with Alberta Urban Garden.ca. So today we're going to answer a question that I've heard quite a few times at the greenhouse and on online forums. Do potato bags work? So this year I do have 3 potato bags. I did use them last year and I got a few potatoes out of them. But this year I figured I'd try a little bit different of a soil mixture, a little bit different of planting mechanism, and a little bit different space because I had them pushed in the corner last year, not very much sun there. So what we're going to do now is take a little recap. You can see the progress over the season of these potatoes in these potato bags, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Now that we've done the recap, we're going to move one of these bags outside of the garden area and do a harvest. So if you'll just come on in a little bit closer, we'll check her out and see how many potatoes we have. Now, before we do that, we have 2 different varieties in 3 bags here. We've got the Russian blue, which are purple potatoes in 2 bags, and then just a regular white potato that I picked out of the kitchen. I believe it's a russet potato. We're going to try one of the Russian blues today, if I remember correctly which bag I put them in, and see if we can have some blue mashed potatoes or something. So as you can see, we've got the potato bag, and it looks like a 5-gallon bucket, except it's flimsy. It's got nice handles on it, easy to carry. I've got a container. I like to recycle my soil, and this is actually going to go in the garden bed in the fall. This particular soil, I'm going to remove some of the heavier clay stuff I have. One of the tips I do have is, if you don't want to spend all the money on a potato bag, because I do remember these being a little bit pricey, reusable grocery store bags are perfectly fine. This particular one is a very large variety, but all you have to do is cut a couple drainage holes in here. Acts exactly the same. So potatoes are part of the nightshade family, and as such, you want to mound them. So what I did is I filled half of this with soil and planted them. And then what I did when the plants got about 12 inches tall is I stripped the foliage off and I mounded it. Now this one isn't quite full to the top, and I did that on purpose so that the rainwater actually would be able to catch, because as soon as these fell down, it kind of pulled the bag over, and that didn't work so well. Next year what I might do is, when the foliage gets up, and you saw the clip a little bit earlier where it was nice and big, when it gets up like that, I'm actually going to probably string that up so that it doesn't knock these over, and I can mound these just a little bit more. And what mounding does is it allows these plants to actually send out new roots and hopefully produce some more potatoes. Now you can tell that a potato is ready to go when the plant part is starting to die. Now this might be in part due to the slug attack that I had, but who knows. So come in closer and we'll actually harvest now. So I planted these seed potatoes, 2 seed potatoes, full seed potatoes, in each of these bags in early May, before the first frost, or before the last frost warning. That was a little bit of a gamble, but if it's in the soil, it should be protected from the frost, and if not, then you just kind of replant. Handy dandy features is a little peekaboo, and they advertise that you can steal potatoes. As you can see, there's no potatoes to be had. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull up what I can. Nope, nothing here, nothing there. They seem to be pulling up just fine, which hopefully means the potatoes are ready. And that all just heads straight to the compost. Yeah, seed potatoes gone. So now what we're going to start doing is digging and putting that soil, that nice soil mixture that I talked about in a couple of episodes, into that big tub to let it dry out a little bit. Well, nothing so far. Nothing in the part that I mounded, which is a little disappointing. I was kind of hoping that I would see some. Well, a little guy, just a little gaffer. Let's dig down quicker. Oh, there we go. And it wasn't a Russian blue. I guess this is my russet potato. They're right at the bottom, so maybe next year what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant them with quite a bit more soil in there and see if I can't get better production. But again, it seems like I only got the production where I originally put the plants, and not too much on the top part. But you know, planting it deep, and even if you don't get a lot of production out of the top part, allows you to protect a little bit more from drying out during the summer, especially since you're in a bag, and bags typically dry out, and pots typically dry out quite a bit faster than in the garden bed. So we're just gently hacking away. You don't want to put your nails down because you'll puncture one of those potatoes, and that hurts its ability to store over the winter. So I'm gonna leave the soil out in the sun today, just to let it dry out, and we'll store it for later use in the shed. This you can see with the soil mixture. It's nice and crumbly, it's not compacted, and that's exactly what you want for good potato production, is nice loose soil that the roots can push into, that the potato can form in without much of a problem at all. Oops, seems I found a little cluster. Excellent. Anyways, we will come back when I've got some nice, clean potatoes. Before we get too far, I found this as part of the plant above ground. I have no idea what it is. It looks like a little tomato. If you happen to know, let me know. I'm going to keep it around for a little while and see if we can't make something of it. Thank you very much for joining me. So our harvest ended up filling one of these bowls, and that's just the white one. I did use those peekaboo doors to steal some of the purple ones. The purple ones look like they're producing much better, but we're going to have to wait because the plants aren't nearly done their business. But look how dark those are. They're almost black, they're so purple. And then we've got the little guys right here. Got some nice big ones. I don't like to leave them too long, otherwise they end up cracking and just not being usable. But I'm got a couple tips for next year's. Plant them higher. Fill it maybe 3/4 with soil. Plant your seed potatoes just below that, and let those roots really go down and produce potatoes. And then these purple ones, it's just a novelty. They don't taste any different than these regular russets, but it is kind of neat. But I do caution you, if you do boil these, the pigment will come out and it won't look nearly as good. So typically what I'll do is a roast potato or something that won't allow it to boil out. Thank you very much for joining me. If you like this video, please subscribe. There should be a button just over here.